Hey guys, Armani here with Honda Cars in McKinney. I just wanted to give you guys a quick review and walk around of the Honda CRV. It's been one of America's best selling SUVs since 1997, and now we're in our 7th iteration. Honda spent over $1 billion building this new global platform and architecture, and it really shows. Not only does this thing just drive amazing, but the engineering on this is top notch. We've now gone into Honda's hybrid era. Honda's been making hybrid vehicles since 1999, and the technology is amazing. We've come so far since '99 with Honda's first hybrid Insight. You know, one of the cool things about my hybrid, I went 270,000 miles on the original brake pad, and that's thanks to the regenerative braking system that's part of the hybrid powertrain. Basically, every time you go for a stop, the electric motors are slowing down the vehicle. Now, for the 7th gen, they did a really amazing job on the design. It no longer looks like a soccer mom van. You've now got a nice sharp design front and back. And, you know, I really do love the new Trail Sport look. With the Trail Sport package, you're getting some really nice, soft, and compliant tires. These things really help the ride become really amazing. But anyways, let me show you under the hood. I'm a little bit of a gearhead, so I love this powertrain here. Honda is the world's largest producer of engines. We make everything from jet engines, motorcycle, marine, lawnmowers, generators, and car engines. And with several generations of hybrid technology, this is truly an amazing engine. Per the engineers at Honda, this powertrain is 100,000 miles maintenance free. Now, you still have to change the fluids and filters, but you're not doing anything like water pumps or valve adjustments or timing belts. Actually, this engine has no belts at all. Check it out. Normally, where there's a serpentine belt, because it's a hybrid, everything is now electronic. Also, the timing chain on the inside is not a belt. You're going to get more than 200,000 miles in between services, maybe even 300 if you're good on your oil changes. The other cool thing about a hybrid is there's no starter or alternator. So this is what a lot of technicians call a negative maintenance. So Honda, they did a really fabulous job on this engine. They have taken the engine and they've balanced it in such a way that it is just a smooth generator. You don't really feel it kick on and off like some of the auto start-stop systems. This system is smooth, it's quiet, and it's extremely reliable. Now, the other thing that I really love about Honda is you'll notice down here, the pillars are made with ultra-high. You also have ultra-high strength steel on the A pillar, the B pillar, and the C pillar. And this is what's going to give the car an overall 5-star crash test safety rating. Ultra-high strength steel is the highest grade of automotive steel available. They actually have to heat it up before they stamp it, otherwise it can break the machines. So, amazing structure. By having a rigid body, it means that you can turn without the body of the car flexing on you. Another great thing, part of the reason why I love Honda so much, aside from the great engines, is the way they drive. When you compare it to a Toyota, you can really feel the decades of racing heritage and pedigree that's hidden in the suspension. When you're going down a flat road, the suspension is nice and soft and comfortable, but the minute you get it into corners, you can feel the amplitude reactive dampers starting to stiff on the suspension. Plus, With a fully independent suspension in the rear, this thing just hugs corners amazingly well. So moving on to the front here, you can see they really did an amazing job. You now have the keyless entry, which is pretty standard with vehicles today. Another thing that I really love, let me show you this. So this back door actually opens up to 90 degrees, giving you plenty of person and cargo access. Massive interior. I love the black headliner. That's part of the Sport and the Trail Sport package, and I think it's awesome. You also have seats that have quite a bit of adjustability to give you creature comforts. Honda also does use high density memory foam, which keeps the interior really, really comfortable. For the guests in the rear, of course, you do have the amenities, the power chargers, and also the air vents. Another thing that a lot of folks don't talk about is if you feel underneath here, what you're feeling is called rayon. If I can give you a nice shot. So this is a carpet that really helps keep the vehicle much quieter. It's going to absorb a lot of the road and tire noise when you're going down the highway. Another thing that people don't really show off is if you stick your fingers in here, you'll notice that these wheels are hollowed out. Part of the reason Honda does that is to reduce unsprung weight. When you have big, heavy rims and you're going into a corner, you can feel like the car's dragging. But when you make the wheels and tires lighter, it makes the car feel more agile through the corners. So moving on here to the back, you can see we do have an all-wheel drive and a massive cargo space. Now when you go with the hybrid version, there's no longer a spare tire, but you have a tire repair kit. You get a massive amount of cargo space, and with the seats down, you can see there is even more cargo space. This thing is really quite cavernous. So moving on to the side, we do have our power adjustable lift gate here as well. But let's go ahead and take this sucker for a drive. I think that's really what separates the Honda CRV from the competition. Now before we go for a drive, I just have to quickly show off the interior because I think it's pretty cool. But Honda did a masterful job on here. Not only do we have a smaller steering wheel that gives you more of an edge in the corners, but you have conventional buttons and knobs here. You have a great touchscreen that now has wireless CarPlay, and it has some of my favorite modes. Not only do you get the brake hold, if you don't know how it works, it is a life changer. Every time I come to a stop, it just holds me in place. Great feature. We also have some amazing drive modes here. If you want to go for more of that sporty feel, it is great to. Now, I know this one has around 200 horsepower, but the torque figure is what really sets this thing apart from the competition. 247 foot-pounds of torque. Now, a lot of the BMWs and stuff, I think they have 248 horsepower. So it really puts into perspective just how powerful this thing is compared to a 2-liter turbo engine. Not to mention, these hybrid engines, they don't have to work as hard. You're not dealing with extreme temperatures from turbos that run off exhaust pressures and all things like that. The other nice thing is 25% of the time when you're cruising around town, the engine is off completely. And I love the way this thing shifts. It feels like a conventional automatic gearbox. So they did a really fantastic job on that. Taking this thing through corners, it really feels great. I feel stable. And Honda has an amazing braking system in here as well. It's known as EBD, or electronic braking distribution. Basically, when you hit the brakes, cars have a tendency to nosedive. And with this system, it's going to put some of the braking force in the rear. Now what that does is it keeps the car level so you have more control under braking. The other thing is just turning into corners, it feels really nice and satisfying. And that's part of having a small steering wheel and a really tight rack and pinion. And I just love the technology. I love the phone integration. I love having cool traffic sign recognition there as well. And overall, there's just a lot of little things that I love. Right? When the sun gets in my eyes, I can move it forward and back. So they really do a lot of time. They really spend a lot of time talking to customers and figuring out what's important to people. I've been working with Honda since 2012. And I can tell every couple of years they take customers' biggest complaints, and when they work out the next generation, they really work through all those things. If you've never driven a hybrid, I highly recommend you do. It is just a really amazing system. Not only do you get close to 40 miles per gallon in an SUV, but you get something that's punchy and fun and fast, and really low maintenance. I mean, heck, in 150,000 miles, you're really not doing a whole lot of maintenance on this car. I've had a lot of other brands where, 60,000 miles in, you're doing timing belts or water pumps or valve adjustments and all that. Not with this engine. But want to give kudos to the engineers at Honda. They always do a really amazing job. And it makes me proud to work for Honda. Not only do we have a reliable car, but part of the soul of what makes a Honda is the way they drive and feel. So if you haven't had a chance to drive one of these, I highly recommend you go out and just give it a try.